In 2024, the IRS offered a $625,000 bounty to anyone who could crack Monero's privacy barrier, yet every single attempt has failed. Regulators aren't just annoyed, they are terrified because these coins have effectively deleted the paper trail of global finance. You think this is just about anonymous dark web transactions, but the real stakes involve the total collapse of state led surveillance over your private digital wealth. Here is how they did it: a cup of water, and let us get to it. Most users of Bitcoin or Ethereum believe their transactions are anonymous. They think because their wallet address is just a string of random characters, their identity is hidden. But that is a misconception that has led to thousands of people having their financial history exposed to the public. Every single movement of value on a transparent blockchain is etched into an immutable ledger for anyone with a search engine to see. Think of it like this: if you pay for a coffee using Bitcoin, the clerk can see your entire transaction history from the day you opened that wallet. They can see where you sent money, where you received it, and your total balance. That is not privacy. That is a radical, unprecedented level of public exposure. This brings us to our first method: how privacy coins fundamentally rewrite the rules of the ledger. The primary way they do this is through a technology called stealth addresses. Imagine you are buying something online. Instead of using your permanent public address, the coin automatically generates a unique one-time address for every single transaction you make. The sender knows they are sending it to you, and you know you are receiving it. But to any observer on the blockchain, the money effectively vanishes into a ghost address that is linked to no one. Monero, for example, has utilized this consistently since its inception in 04/18/2014 by creating a fresh destination for every single incoming payment. The link between the sender and the receiver is severed at the source. It is the digital equivalent of paying in cash, but doing so across the globe in seconds without ever handing over a physical bill. That is the easy win for privacy. It is accessible, it is automated, and it works without you having to be a cryptographer. Now, let us level up to the second method. If stealth addresses hide the destination, ring signatures, and ring confidential transactions, or ring CT hide the amount and the participants. This is where things get interesting. When you send a transaction, the protocol mixes your input with a ring of other users' past inputs from the blockchain. To an outside observer, it looks like a group of people signed the transaction, but it is impossible to determine which specific person actually initiated it. Think of it like a deck of cards. You throw your card into a pile with 10 other cards, someone shuffles them, and then they draw one back out. The proof that the transaction is valid remains intact, but the trail leading back to you is completely obscured by the statistical noise of the ring. This is not just a theory. A researcher at the University of Stanford analyzed the anonymity sets of these protocols in 2022 and found that even with advanced heuristic clustering, the success rate for de-anonymizing these transactions was statistically negligible. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week to help you navigate the future of digital finance. All right, now for the one I have been saving for you. This is the big one. We need to talk about ZK-SNARKs, or Zero Knowledge Succinct Non-Interactive Arguments of Knowledge. That sounds like a mouthful, right? Here is the simplest way to understand it. Imagine you want to prove to me that you know the answer to a riddle without actually telling me the answer. With ZK-SNARKs, you can provide a cryptographic proof that your transaction is valid, that you own the funds and you have the right to spend them, without revealing the sender, the receiver, or the amount being moved. This is the gold standard of privacy technology. Unlike Monero, which relies on mixing, Zcash uses this zero-knowledge tech to completely mask the entire state of the transaction. It is like putting a vault inside a safe. The protocol confirms the math works. The network verifies the integrity, but the data itself remains a mathematical black box. This is exactly why regulators are so worried. In 2020, the United States Department of Justice released a report on digital assets that specifically flagged privacy coins as high risk for money laundering. And in September of 2022, the exchange giant Binance even briefly delisted privacy coins in certain European regions under pressure from local regulators. But let that sink in for a second. Why is the government so focused on this? It is not just because they fear bad actors. It is because the transition to privacy-centric protocols removes the state's ability to track the movement of capital in real time. If you can prove you are solvent, prove you are legitimate, and prove you have the funds, all without revealing the details, then the entire concept of a public audit ledger becomes obsolete. We are moving from a world of total visibility to a world of mathematical trust. So, let us recap. We have stealth addresses for hiding the destination, ring signatures for obfuscating the path, and zero-knowledge proofs for making the data itself disappear while maintaining the integrity of the ledger. The first two give you privacy in the way you interact with others, but the third one fundamentally changes how systems verify truth. Once you see it this way, you cannot unsee it. Privacy is not just a feature, it is the ultimate utility of a truly decentralized economy. If you got value from this, share it with someone who needs to hear it and subscribe so you do not miss the next one. I am working on a breakdown of how the next generation of Layer 2 privacy solutions will interact with central bank digital currencies, and it is going to change everything you think you know about banking. See you in the next one.